On this episode of Carnage, we found rust in Dad's rust-free ute. Again. So, a few weeks ago we decided to drag Dad's ute out of the back corner, build up a motor for it, take it to Mopar Sunday. But it is starting to look more uncertain by the day as we keep tripping over problems. First it was the chassis rail, which had some major rust and cracks. Well, we fixed that. 2.5 days work, it's done, it's fixed. But we still haven't got an engine built, we still haven't put the engine in, we're still way behind. They're still going to put the brakes on it. Brakes won't take too long, but still, it all takes time and we're running out of time. Right now, we're about 15 days out from when we have to leave for Mopar Sunday, and 4 of those days are weekends, so I might be working some weekends. We'll see. But yesterday, while I was putting the suspension back together on the ute, I discovered this, which I didn't even know was there. And it appears that it might have some rust in the sill. So let's do the test. That's a fairly big and meaty screwdriver. That's going all the way in, which tells me that's going all the way in to the sill. So on this episode of Carnage, we're going to have to pull both front guards off, because the other side, maybe not as bad, but have a look. So when I saw that side, I come over here to have a look at this side, and now that kind of looks like it's hitting up against the sill, which is just in behind this dust cover panel. But yeah, we're going to have to pull both front guards off, which means the bumper has to come off, which means the grille has to be removed as well. It's kind of a major operation, you know, so this is not going to be fun. Right, well, let's get things underway. Heavy. That is real steel. That side. Right, getting close now. So you don't always have to use the big 1/2-inch drive Bertha to undo stuff. The little 3/8 drive Ryobi works just as well in these light situations. Someone lost the captive nut on that one, so they put a nut up under the guard, which is annoying, but oh well, I have to remember that. lottery ticket. Ah, 50-year-old screws on cars like this are for the bin. Alright, that's 4 for 4. It's not too bad. A bit of rust on the inside of that, which ain't great. But yeah, it's definitely got a hole in the front of the sill. Oh. Well, that's much worse than I thought. What the hell? So this isn't uncommon with these cars. It is a massive dirt and moisture trap there that all comes in down the guard. And there is like a vent area here where it's all supposed to fall out, but all you need is for a couple leaves or things to get stuck in there and just traps all this dirt in there, and once moisture gets in there, it just sits there and just rusts the front of the sill. But that is actually the worst I've ever seen on one of the cars that I've owned. And the rest of the car is so good. But I'm guessing the other side is even worse than that. So let's go have a look at that. Ugh. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of dust and shit in there. All right, do I want to look? Surprisingly, it's not as bad, but still not great. Wow. Oh well, I guess it's better we found it now than presenting it for registration and having the rego guy find it, which is what would have 100% happened. And no rego guy in the world is going to let that one pass. Right, so it's time for a bit of CAD design, cardboard aided design. I'll make up some templates. It's going to be fun. I would have liked to have bought a couple of rust repair sections, and they are available from some places, but most of the time they're custom made, so they're an order thing, so 6 weeks, thereabouts. Remember when I had to order the patch panel for the Safari wagon? That took months to arrive. So for this, yeah, it's going to take weeks to get a patch panel. I'm just going to have to make something up out of sheet metal, I guess. See how we go, but given the fact that we can't actually buy a patch panel for this, it may screw us. It really will. I'm not sure that we're going to make it to Mopar Sunday. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean up. So I've got a clean surface to make our little patch templates out of. This is the more complete side. So I'll make my templates off this side, and then they'll be all reversible for the other side. That's part one of the puzzle. So I'm just going to cut out a large section of this 1.6mm steel for the moment. Transfer the templates over, but yeah, once I cut this section off the end, then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty, cut them out individually. So this is just 1.6mm steel from Bunnings. You can buy it in like squares of 600 by 600mm, which is what we did here. I'm just going to use the Ryobi air shears. I'll basically go there. All right, we'll see how they all fit together. But it's in the ballpark. It's getting there. Give it a test run. Oh, fuck, I'm good. Check it out. Well, there's no putting off the inevitable. It's time to cut. Sorry, old girl. Well, there's a fair bit of gunk down there in the sill. Let's suck it out. They've got the thinnest little drain hole there. It's terrible. No wonder they all rust out in the front of the sill. And then obviously all the dirt and shit catches in there as well. Bad design. Really surprised that's not all gone. That's just nuts. All the grinders. Stop falling out of the car. Hello darkness, my old friend. that one, the bottom one needs to be like an inch longer. That's what she said. And yeah, the rest of it looks pretty right. Rust on the inside as well. When you can stick your hand inside your sill panel, that's bad. So as you can see, there's a fair bit of rust on this side. I'm going to have to repair that inner section of the rail and then cut out some more of these. That'll go there. That'll go there. We'll make it all work. Actually, I need to make a reverse of that one. We'll rebuild it all, good as new. But there's a problem. Ken's on holidays and Matt, who's behind the camera now, won't be able to join us for a couple of days. So rather than sit on my butt, I'm going to smash this out off camera and you're going to come back and see it when I've got it all done, finished, complete. I won't put the guards on yet, but I will make it all as good as new and you'll see it all in a day or two. So rejoin me then when I've got all this repaired, but I really think this is going to screw us. I don't know that we're going to make Mopar Sunday. I mean, by the time I've got it done, we'll have probably 10 days to go, something like that. Still got to build the motor, still got to finish the brakes, still got to get it going, running, run-in, dynoed, registered. All these things have to be done. And I don't know that we have enough hours in the day. So, even if we don't make it to Mopar Sunday, we'll do something with it. We're going to finish it. We're going to push through and we're going to finish it, regardless of whether we make it or not. And you've got to remember, COVID is looming in the background the entire time. Most of New South Wales in lockdown, Queensland, they've got lockdown scattered around. They're both having a fair few cases. So we don't even know if we can go over those borders and then come back. So we may be able to leave Victoria, go through New South Wales all the way to Queensland, then we may end up coming back and then 14-day lockdown. Yeah, no thanks. So, like I said, there's a whole bunch of issues right now, least of which is this. So anyway, we'll smash it out, rejoin us in a couple of days. Well, it is 2 days later and I have been a very busy boy. So I basically repaired both front sill panels, rebuilt the entire sections, and I'm very impressed with myself. I'm very happy with the job. So basically I made it all up out of 1.6mm flat steel, cut it all to, into sections. So that's a section, that's a section. I didn't replace the whole panel, I just replaced this lower and side bit, keeping this threaded hole here and this hole here. Also, this is a section here, but it's got two bends in it that are bent it up just in the vise. So what I did was I tacked that panel into place, just there and there, tacked this panel to that, and then tacked this panel to that as well, and then lifted the whole thing up, cracking the two top tacks, and then welding it over on the vise. So on the vise, it allowed me to weld the entire inside of every one of these joins, fully seam weld each part didn't have to grind anything back because no one will ever see it. Then I sprayed the entire inside with spray through or weld through primer, and then put it back up, and it fit perfectly, and then tack into place, and then fully seam welded it, and then sort of ground it mostly smooth with a die grinder and a flappy disc, and it came out brilliantly, I think. So this was the worst side, and we had to go all the way back to here. I've just resprayed it all in chassis black. It's pretty much good to go. I've protected the front edge of this door, but I will have to touch up this with some white, and I may even just spray the whole thing white when I go get some paint. The other side is just as good. Let's have a look. We're not hiding anything. It's just that this one was done second, so the paint's still a little bit wet. It is very cold here in the workshop this morning, so I had to preheat some cans and that sort of thing. But I've sprayed that one, and it has come up pretty much just as good as the other side. So I reckon that has come up awesome. I'm very pleased with myself. I think it's probably some of the best rust repair work I've ever done. So I guess we should look into getting the front end back on this car. So let's go have a look at those guards and see what I'm dealing with over there. Hopefully no more rust repairs. Right, so I want to get these front guards back on the car, but before we do that, we need to have a look down here. I think I'm going to need to just give these a bit of a scrub back, treat them with some rust converter, and hopefully they should be good to go back on from there. But yeah, there's a little bit of surface rust there, and I don't really want to chuck them back on as is. They definitely need treatment. Alrighty, time to give them a scrub. Now I'll come to the decision to get rid of the mud flaps. I don't really want to, but this one's already broken, and they are massive moisture and dust and mud traps, and I think it is time for them to go. Unfortunately, they've been on the ute probably since new, but I think it is really time for them to be evicted from the island. Got to say, whoever painted over the heads of these screws have really done me a solid, because this is the first time, I think, in the history of me working on Valiants, and that is, the last 30 years or so. This is the first time I've been able to actually unscrew a mud flap from a car. Yeah. Every other one, you've had to cut the screws away, grind them away. It never works. But in this case, they're actually working. All right, let's hope there's no mysteries hiding under this. There we go. No, she's all solid. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, well, let's clean it, treat it, get it back on the car. Okay. So while that guard's drying over there, I'll get a start on this one as well. That way we're not getting delayed too much to getting this whole front end back together. All right, let's clean this paint off these screws. Okay, so we've treated that bottom corner. It's time to drop the guard on. See how we go. Okay. Right, well, we've got the rust repairs done. The guards are going back on. We're going to leave the grill out for the moment. I'm going to get the engine and box into this thing, get the radiator sort of set up, and then we'll set up the transcooler and all that as well. But things are coming back together. However, I think we're going to have to admit defeat. It doesn't look like we're going to make it to Mopar Sunday, and there are a bunch of reasons. One is there's like 10 days to go or something like that. And while if I did a full court press, I could probably make it, although I don't have my engine sitting here. The workshop's absolutely filthy. We need to do a full sweep up. You can see we've done some lightening out of the car. There's so much dirt and rubbish on the floor that came out of this car. It's got to be a lot lighter. But yeah, we're not going to make it to Mopar Sunday. COVID is really coming down on New South Wales, and if they haven't locked the borders already, I think they will. And just getting back to Victoria is going to be so tough. Even if we do those both border crossings from Victoria to New South Wales and then New South Wales to Queensland, and get all our certificates signed off and whatever else needs to be done, you know, just getting back here home may involve, 2 weeks of quarantine, which none of us really want to do. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to pull the pin on this one in terms of, not making it to Mopar Sunday, but we're going to keep pushing forward with the car. We are going to finish this thing, get it running, get it registered, and we'll drive it somewhere, I promise you. It may take a little bit longer than we planned in terms of we were going to do this for Mopar Sunday, July 25th. It may be running and driving then, hopefully. We'll see. We'll push forward, see what we can do. But yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be one of the few times that we haven't hit our target. And we've hit a lot of targets in the past. The MX-5 was built in a very short time to make it a red centre nats. Mr. Dodgy was built, start to finish in like 4 weeks to get to the running on empty cruise. I mean, we've hit a lot of very tight timelines in the past, but this one I think is going to defeat us, and I don't think it's just going to be us. I think it's COVID has beat us on this one. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But that's all right. We'll keep pushing forward. We'll get it done, and you'll see it all on future episodes of Carnage.